Hi, I am Christophe, Tantra massage therapist for women since 2018. One of the questions I receive most often is what actually happens during a Tantra massage session? And of course, I completely understand why people ask this. For many people, Tantra massage still feels mysterious or unfamiliar. There is often curiosity, but also nervousness or uncertainty, because people simply don't know what to expect. So in this video, I want to calmly walk you through what a session generally looks like in my practice. And I think it's important to mention that every Tantra therapist works differently. There's no single universal structure or approach. So, what I'm sharing here is simply my personal way of working and how I guide sessions myself. Every session starts with a conversation. For me, this is a very important part of the experience because Tantra is not about rushing into touch. It's about creating a sense of safety, trust, openness, and connection first. We take some time to talk about how you're feeling, whether there are certain intentions, boundaries, insecurities, or sensitivities I should know about, and what you hope to receive from the session. For some women, this may simply be deep relaxation and getting out of the mind for a while. For others, it can be emotional healing, reconnecting with their femininity, feeling more present in their body, or learning to soften and surrender more deeply. At the same time, I also think it's important not to enter a Tantra session with very rigid or concrete expectations, because in a way that can become a bit of a mind trap. The more someone is constantly thinking about what should happen, what they hope to feel, or whether they are doing it right, the more they tend to stay stuck in the mind instead of actually dropping into the experience itself. And very often, the deeper experiences people are looking for only arise when there is less control, less overthinking, and more surrender. So instead of trying to force a certain outcome, I usually invite people to simply stay open and present with whatever arises naturally during the session. Another very important part of the conversation is consent. At the beginning of the session, I ask whether someone is open to receiving Yoni massage or not. And if someone already says beforehand that they do not want to receive Yoni massage, then of course I fully respect that boundary. In that case, I will not suddenly ask again during the session or try to steer things in that direction. If someone does indicate during the conversation that they are open to it, then I usually explain that we will simply see during the session itself how the body and mind respond in the moment. Because ultimately, the body is often very clear. Sometimes I notice that someone still feels very tense, closed off, disconnected, or mentally overwhelmed. And in those moments, it does not feel right or beneficial to continue into yoni massage. On the other hand, when someone is deeply relaxed, breathing fully, allowing movement, allowing sound, and really surrendering into the experience, then the body often naturally communicates openness and readiness. At the same time, it is also important to understand that many women can still be somewhat in their head while consciously wanting to continue receiving yoni massage. So, if I notice that someone still seems mentally active or slightly tense, I check in verbally and ask whether it still feels okay to continue. And very often, women still actively choose to continue. Sometimes it's exactly That deeper level of energetic and conscious touch that helps someone finally move out of the mind and more deeply into the body, because sexual energy itself can be incredibly powerful. Throughout the entire process, consent, communication, safety, and attunement always remain central. Before we begin the massage, there are also a few things I always explain to clients because they can really support and deepen the experience. The first one is breath. I encourage clients to consciously use their breath during the session instead of unconsciously holding tension in the body. Breath can help activate and circulate energy throughout the body. Sometimes I also invite people to combine the breath with visualization. For example, by imagining the energy flowing through the body instead of remaining stuck or concentrated in one place. The second thing is movement. Sometimes the body naturally wants to move during the massage. Maybe the hips want to move slightly, maybe the chest wants to open more deeply, or maybe certain sensations create spontaneous movements in the body. And I always tell clients not to see me as someone who is there to judge them, because very often the moment someone starts thinking, "What will he think of me?" they immediately go back into their head again. The same goes for sound. Sometimes people naturally want to sigh, breathe more deeply, hum, or express emotions vocally during the session. And again, I encourage clients not to suppress themselves out of fear of judgment. Breath, movement, and sound can all help energy move more freely through the body. And the more someone allows themselves to stay authentic and present instead of controlled and self conscious, the deeper the experience often becomes. I also often explain that Tantra massage can in some ways be compared to meditation. During the session, thoughts will naturally arise in the mind. That is completely normal. We all have inner dialogue, distractions, insecurities, memories, or moments where the mind becomes active again. The art is not to fight those thoughts or get completely absorbed by them, but simply to notice them and let them pass. And one simple thing that can really help is bringing your focus back to the body again. For example, by placing your awareness on the area where I'm massaging in that moment. That often helps people move out of their head and reconnect with what they are actually feeling in their body. After our conversation, I leave the room so you can undress at your own pace and comfortably lie down on the futon. And I also want to mention that there is absolutely no pressure when it comes to what you wear during the session. If someone has already decided that they do not want to receive Yoni massage, they are completely welcome to keep their panties on throughout the entire session. And even when someone is open to receiving Yoni massage, it is perfectly fine to start the session with their panties on if that feels more comfortable. For some women, immediately being fully nude feels natural and relaxed. For others, it can take a little more time to settle into the space, build trust, and feel comfortable in their body. Both are completely okay. I always encourage women to listen to their body and honor what feels right for them in that moment. If at some point during the session they feel comfortable removing their panties, they can do so. If they don't, that is equally respected. For me, Tantra is never about pushing through boundaries. It's about creating a safe environment where someone can gradually relax, open up, and make choices that genuinely feel aligned with their body and their needs. I personally work on a futon or a mat on the floor rather than on a massage table. This creates a slightly different atmosphere and also allows for more groundedness, movement, and freedom during the session. I also usually play a carefully selected playlist with soft spiritual music in the background. Music can have a strong effect on the nervous system and emotions, and for many people, it helps them relax more deeply and sink further into the experience. Around the futon, I light candles to create a warm and calming atmosphere. These small details may seem simple, but they can really help someone feel more safe, relaxed, and present in their body. Once you are ready, the massage begins slowly and gently. A Tantra massage is very different from many traditional massages. Of course, there is physical touch, but the focus is not only on the muscles or the body itself. A Tantra massage also works with awareness, breath, energy, relaxation, emotion, and presence. The touch is usually slow, conscious, and intuitive. There's a lot of attention for what is happening in the moment and for what the body is communicating. Very often, people spend so much time in their head during daily life that they become disconnected from their body and from what they actually feel inside. Tantra invites people to slow down and reconnect with sensation again, to become more aware of the body, the breath, the emotions, and the energy moving inside of them. The massage itself also has a certain build up to it. In the beginning, the receiver is usually lying on their stomach while I massage the backside of the body first. This helps people gradually relax, arrive more deeply into their body, and slowly build trust and openness throughout the session. A lot of tension is often stored in areas such as the shoulders, the back, the hips, and the legs. So, the first part of the massage already allows the nervous system to calm down and the body to soften more deeply. About halfway through the session, I invite the receiver to turn around onto their back. And this is usually the point where the experience can become more vulnerable, emotional, and profound. When someone is lying on their back, there is naturally much more openness and exposure compared to lying face down. People often feel more emotionally seen in this position, which is completely normal. This is also the point where Tantra massage becomes very different from most classic relaxation massages. Traditional massages often mainly focus on the back, shoulders, arms, and legs. Usually, there is very little attention for areas such as the belly, the hips, or the pelvic and genital region. And yet, these are often exactly the areas where people store a lot of suppressed emotions, tension, shame, stress, insecurity, or blocked energy. So, within Tantra massage, these parts of the body are not ignored or treated as something separate or taboo. Instead, they are approached with the same presence, awareness, respect, and conscious touch as the rest of the body. And very often, this is where people experience a much deeper level of relaxation, emotional release, surrender, and connection with themselves. At the end of the session, there's always time to slowly come back and integrate the experience. Sometimes people want to share emotions, insights, or sensations they experienced during the massage. And sometimes they simply want to stay in silence for a while. For many people, Tantra massage becomes much more than just receiving physical touch. It can become a space where they reconnect with their body, their emotions, their sensitivity, and their inner experience in a deeper way. And that is often where the deeper healing aspect of Tantra begins. I hope this video has given you a clearer understanding of what a Tantra massage session can look like. at least in the way that I personally work. And as I mentioned before, every Tantra therapist has their own approach, philosophy, and style, so experiences can differ from person to person. If this video has sparked questions, reflections, or perhaps even some uncertainty, I would like to invite you to join my free school community. The community was created as a safe and respectful space where we can have open conversations about Tantra, embodiment, intimacy, conscious touch, and personal growth without shame or taboo. You are welcome to ask questions, share experiences, learn from others, or simply read along if you're still exploring these topics for the first time. I'll be active in the community myself, and very often other members also share valuable insights and perspectives from their own journey. You'll find the link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and perhaps I'll see you inside the community.